Here we go.
Ooh.
Hey.
So far, so good.
Welcome back to Squared Circle Jobbers. We are here for episode 2 of our brand new series of the Prediction League. I'm not just sat here with 10 pounds of gold on my shoulder for no reason at all. It is quite heavy, but it is difficult being the champ right now. Again, I am joined by my challengers in the Prediction League.
Come on.
I'm joined by two of my challengers now. I'm joined. Oh, he's back. I'm joined by my co-host on Squared Circle Jobbers, Mr. Stee.
Nope.
I'm joined by the owner and chair of Cheap Shot Entertainment, Mr. Luke Thorpe, and of Ryan. What do you do? Tell me what you do.
I messed with your shows once, and I made a really good triple threat match on your show once, and I also got Chris Benoit injured on Stee's show.
Yeah, Mr. Stee. I'm not being funny, but did he kill your show?
Yes, he injured Chris Benoit. He was out in the SummerSlam. Still won't forget it.
And the guy who likes to kill GM mode is Ryan Leaf Plant.
Yes.
So there we go. Fantastic.
All content is down below in the description.
Yeah,
and don't forget to
I've never done that to Luke before.
Yeah, go and like and
the videos.
Go and subscribe to all of
to
that
everyone.
content.
And follows, because Twitch just follows. I mean, you could sub to Ryan, but he's not really broadcasted at the moment, so you won't get your shout out. So
I don't really, but I'm odd. I'm odd on streams. Music streams.
In episode 1, we updated you. Well, I say we. I updated you with how the league works and what we do in the league, and you got to see the table. So if you've not had a chance to see that episode, go back and watch it, so get you up to date with what's what with the Prediction League.
button would be like top right. It's like up there somewhere.
And with the success of this video, fingers crossed, we will be doing many more of these as the year goes by, as we progress through WWE's calendar. We did night 1, which was Saturday the 10th. We are now on to night 2, which is Sunday the 11th of April. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you. Glad to be here on my own channel.
Ryan is fandangoing in his kitchen.
He did me.
Tell him bring it back before do the kill it again.
Luke, were you enjoying England? Were you enjoying England's performance this evening? Did they win?
They did.
Oh, did they actually?
In the first episode, you may have seen me fist pump as the second goal went in for England.
Did the guy from but just out of interest, did the guy from Derby play for Poland?
He did. Yes.
Was he poor?
He was actually running quite well with it, but they did bring him on as a second half sub. So that's
okay. Yeah, it's probably Wayne Rooney's orders of not to play him against England. So, we won't be assigning points to these matches, but we will be in the Prediction League. We're just going to be letting you know the title of the titles, the winners of the matches, and we'll be giving you our reasons why. So again, if you disagree with anything that we say, if you agree with anything, let us know in the comments below. Yeah, tough. Because what we say matters most. Vince has got a direct line to us at Squared Circle Jobbers.
I wish.
Yeah,
Give me a
great.
job.
and me.
Anyway,
I carry a championship well.
do you know Ali asked me this question yesterday? Actually, if you got a phone call from WWE and you had to stop content creating, but you got offered a job at WWE, would you leave Ben behind in Squared Circle Jobbers? I said yes.
No way. You wouldn't be happy over there.
No, that's true. I probably would want to jump off a bridge after about 2 weeks.
I can't wait to be the sole owner of Squared Circle Jobbers.
Andrade apparently was earning $3 million per year and still wanted to leave.
True.
Anyway,
we've gone off the rails a bit there.
Yeah. Anyway, night 2. We're going to start off. We'll start off night 2 then, shall we? In spectacular fashion. Let's start off with probably the best match of night 2. And we are going to start off with Randy Orton versus the returning Fiend.
That build-up was perfect for Ryan. He is not a fan. He is not a fan.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with Randy Orton against the Fiend, the returning Fiend who looks a little bit like Freddy Krueger.
Have they named a stipulation for the match yet?
It is noted down as a singles match
because it can't be a singles match. We're not obviously predicting yet, but I just need to explain this match can't. They've booked themselves into a corner. You can't go from a Inferno match where the Fiend was literally set on fire and died to a singles match at WrestleMania. It doesn't work. So it needs
How
to be.
is Orton the heel? He did what the match is supposed to do.
That is.
You set your opponent on fire. He did.
That's true.
Yeah,
But anyway, should we go through the people predicting? Because I don't get the match.
Yeah, shall we start with this? I thought this one would bring most controversy. We get out of the way first.
Yeah, definitely.
Ryan, obviously you sounded so excited to talk about this match. We will start with you for this one, please.
The whole thing makes no sense. In fact, it makes nonsense, really. You know, you think about what Alexa Bliss is wearing and the Fiend being around her. But anyway, it's not a gimmick that I agree with. I don't really get I get Orton's supposed to be the heel, but don't see why. It just seems like someone keeps trying to victimise him and keeps making him splurt black goo, and he's having a fireball shot at him just because he did what was supposed to be done, you know, in that Inferno match. I feel quite sorry for Randy Orton at this point.
Good analysis.
I couldn't give a toss who wins out of either of them because the Fiend was damaged beyond repair ever since that match with Seth Rollins, that Hell in a Cell match.
Brace yourself, Ryan's mentioned it. Here we go.
The Fiend has never been the same since. There was that disastrous Universal title run on SmackDown where he turned the belt blue. Oh, he changed the colour of the belt, magic. And then never recovered from it since. Now he's apparently a babyface because, as I say, he's victimised someone else. The Fiend is broken goods. Oh yeah, and he's, managed to brainwash another person in the company, so called babyface material. How's that different than when The Undertaker brainwashed people to join the ministry when he was like a mega heel? I do not know. So yeah, that is wonderful.
Who's going to win, Ryan?
I also get why he's not the face, because though everything they're doing is making him like the face of this feud, he's been built up as the Psycho Orton beforehand, so it's also hard to cheer for him. So as a result, I don't know who I want to cheer for. As to who wins, probably the Fiend, so he can get his revenge, which shouldn't even be revenge in the first place because he was wronged by what I'm pretty sure he suggested the Inferno match, and he wants revenge, and so the Fiend will probably get it. But I could care less, and honestly, I want both of them to. I don't want to risk releases on them, but I don't see what they can offer anymore.
Tell us how you really feel, Ryan.
Yeah, I might do actually. So the Fiend will probably get his revenge.
Right, nice. Okay, so you're going for the Fiend. Okay, Luke on this one.
I think everything's already been said. They have booked themselves into a corner here, and I keep expecting like Papa Shango to turn up. The Randy Orton spitting the goo and stuff like that. Some kind of voodoo or something like that.
It'd be better than what they're doing now.
Bring him out of retirement, bring Papa Shango back. But yeah, I fully expect the Fiend to get his revenge in this one, although, again, much like has already been said, I'm not quite sure how it's revenge for a match with a stipulation that you had to set your opponent on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go with the Fiend. But
Answers on a postcard, WWE.
Yeah, I'm just not bothered. I thought they were going to do like another Firefly Funhouse match.
Yeah.
And then they booked an actual match because obviously it's in a stadium now, so probably a bit more difficult to do it. But I fully expect the Fiend to win this one by hook or by crook. Get the votes.
Is it me now, Ben?
Yes, please.
Raising your head at me. Well, I'm actually, apart from my intro, I'm actually enjoying the feud. I'm really enjoying the Alexa Bliss character arc. I mean, some of it is a bit confusing. The WWE writers don't know what they're doing anyway, so you can't really blame her in that sense. I think it's going well. I like the direction she's going in. I've always enjoyed the story where there's always a character who has like two personalities. So the whole Bray Wyatt Fire Funhouse guy, and then he turns into the Fiend. And then same with Alexa Bliss. She was like the normal character and then turned evil. It was terrible what she did in the Royal Rumble. She should have done more. But in a booking sense, they kind of explained it, I guess. In terms of match, like I said at the start, they've booked themselves into a complete corner because this cannot be one-on-one singles. Otherwise, it'll be boring. It'll make no sense unless the Fiend just squashes Orton in like 2 seconds because he's gained some demon powers because he got burned alive. I really don't know. I like the new look of the Fiend. I like the character of it. I just don't understand the match itself. I initially thought they might actually do a Hell in a Cell for it, but now they've booked the steel cage. Obviously, that won't happen because of how it works, I guess. They need to do a stipulation for it. I hope they do because I will find it a bit boring unless they do some sort of camera trick again like they did at Fastlane, but I don't know how they're going to do it with fans in the stadium. Maybe they'll do start the match in the ring in front of the fans and they'll go backstage somehow, and then that's where they can do the hokey pokey I don't know, but I'm going to go with the Fiend because it just makes sense for the Fiend to, as you guys have quoted, get his revenge for being burned alive in a match he was supposed to be burned alive in. Maybe it'll be a buried alive match. That would be good. Maybe Randy Orton can go home and feud on his Twitter feud with that rapper or whoever it is, and he can just stay on Twitter for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed that Soldier Boy. Yeah, I've enjoyed the feud as a whole, but yeah, they definitely backed themselves into the corner.
The thing is, if it is a buried alive match, though, that Randy Orton probably will be banned from Twitter because he's buried, he's dead.
Orton doesn't give it.
The only thing that I find interesting about Orton is Orton on Twitter.
Yeah, Orton on Twitter is a god. So good.
Yeah.
So different.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, so I think we're 3 on the Fiend, and I think we're going for 4 on the Fiend. Yeah. He's going to win big time. He has to. Like, what's the point in bringing him back on the run up to WrestleMania without him? You know, like we say, getting his revenge for being burnt alive. Now, the only thing I sort of disagree with the Fiend's sort of new look is the fact that he's wearing different clothes that are supposed to be burnt.
I think they've just tried to match it as close as possible and just failed because they're lazy.
But there's no he wears different pants. He's wearing different pants. He's wearing yeah. He was in a leather jacket, wasn't he?
Mm.
But like it's nowhere near a leather jacket. It's like a Kevlar vest that Roman Reigns used to wear.
Yeah, I think they've just been lazy. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
they've tried to match it as close as possible and just gone okay.
Yeah. Why don't they use WWE shop? Like they're always advertising the deal. Surely must have took a look at that and thought, hey, I need some new clothes on offer. Maybe I can get myself some Fiend merchandise. You know. But
yeah.
Am I wrong or?
No, it's true.
He's kind of like written the Bray Wyatt sort of character away, hasn't it, as well? Like the whole.
Yeah, I'm interested in what happens with like Bray Wyatt.
Like there's no.
Is he going to come back or?
Yeah, like there's been no like Funhouse like things, has there at all?
Because even Alexa Bliss hasn't been in the Funhouse either, so.
No, yeah, which has been weird. So I think we're on Fiend on that one, but a good way to open part 2, night 2.
Yes.
So let's go for the next one, for one that we probably want to skip away from. We go with the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, is fighting for the United States Championship against Matt Forget Your Lines Riddle.
I'd laugh, but Matt Riddle was involved in the Speaking Out movement, was named in it.
So we would like Sheamus for that one then, for that reason?
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
Sheamus is in late career form. I actually think he's probably the most consistent in-ring worker of 2021 on the main roster. I feel like he deserves it, and if we all think Cesaro is going over from the previous vid, and that's one spoiler. If you like stuff like that, go check out the other vid if you haven't. But it'd be nice to see both members of the former bar come out on top. So, and until do the clear about their investigations into some of the performers that are named, or even any other wrestling company as well where that's happened.
Yeah.
Like, I find it hard personally to disengage, like to disassociate from the person, the person to the performer. Like, I can't take myself out of it. So, but I think Sheamus deserves something for his run.
Yeah, I mean, it would be quite good to see Sheamus with the US title and McIntyre with the WWE title at the end of I suppose that McIntyre's in the first night, isn't he? So having them on different nights, it rules out that. But if it wasn't a dual night thing, it would be quite cool to see them both with the titles. A bit like the Eddie and Benoit thing.
Yeah,
two good friends, both with championships at the end of WrestleMania. Because Sheamus and Matt Riddle deserve to be in the main event of Night 2. Said no one ever.
I didn't mean to kill that dead, by the way. What you're saying about Riddle forgetting his lines, I can understand why you seem as quite funny and how it's been convenient that only his character could really pull that off.
Yeah,
with everything that's going on, so I can understand that.
Yeah, it's so the fact that he missed, didn't remember his promo for Raw.
I mean, wasn't he in 5 different promos or so, including a match? I think he was on Raw 5 times on Monday. I think I read it's quite involved a lot.
Absolutely,
it was funny though, the way he did it, and Asuka's face when he just scooted away.
Yeah, just scooted away. It's Asuka's just how do I carry this?
Yeah, no, just smile. Just don't speak.
The commentary team did the best they could in terms of just saying, "What the hell's Matt Riddle on?"
Yeah, we
all know what Matt Riddle's on, don't we? That's going to be one hell of a Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Definitely.
RVD and Matt Riddle in the same building.
That'd be great. That would be fantastic. I think there would be a lot of plant-based material being consumed that night, wouldn't there? Woo! So Ryan's going for Sheamus. I will go for Matt Riddle, just because it's Matt Riddle. Steve, Luke, who you want to go?
I'm going to go. Originally, during at the start, I was thinking Riddle, but I'm actually going to go for Sheamus just because I think will reward him for the match that he had at Fastlane with Drew McIntyre. I think he deserves the title just because of that match. I absolutely loved it. It's one of the best WWE matches they've had in a long time, and they didn't need to do any flip to make it good either. Ryan. AEW.
Hey!
I just wanted to do it. I just had to do it once. It's very true.
I'm not fully in.
Go on.
To all the flippy.
It's just because you are the reference to AEW in my world.
I hate the Young Bucks.
I know you do. We do shout that we disagree on a lot of things, but the Young Buck hate is the one we have together. Anyway, moving on from that. The Sheamus Drew McIntyre match was something which is, I feel it only can properly happen in WWE. It was just a great match, and I think WWE will reward Sheamus. And who knows, Vince might be a bit dodgy on Matt Riddle at the moment because of the lines. You never know. You never know with Vince. So I'm going to go with Sheamus going over Matt Riddle.
Very good. Luke?
Okay, well, I'm going to go along the same lines as Steve with that one. I think the match they had with Drew at Fastlane was absolutely spot on. Really, really fun match. And, they showed the scars of that match, which
Yeah, it was brutal, wasn't it?
really, really did put their bodies on the line, literally, for entertainment. And much along those lines, I'm going to go with Sheamus as well as a reward thing, but I wouldn't put it past them giving Riddle the win.
Yeah.
But I am going to go with Sheamus.
Nice. Very good. Very good.
Just on the note about the Fastlane match, they rewarded him so much. They loved his performance in that so much that they put him against Bobby Lashley for people on the Raw as his back was still completely and utterly torn to shreds. And it was just like one of the worst people you want to be up against, like a hard hit.
Yeah.
So let's go from one mid-card championship to the other. Let's go from the US to the Intercontinental title. We have Big E representing the New Day on the SmackDown brand, who has been the Intercontinental Champion, I believe, since I think from like New Year's Eve. Like I think he won a SmackDown episode against Sami Zayn.
Something like that.
I want to say he was.
It was around. It was the holiday season.
Yeah, I want to say he won the title around Christmas, New Year time. So Big E is the Intercontinental Champion, and he's defending the championship against Apollo Crews. Man, he's gonna defend the championship against Apollo.
What an impression!
he is a bad man. He is a big bad man. You know what I mean. You don't disrespect Apollo.
I didn't realise Kofi Kingston got his Jamaican accent back.
Yeah, so Apollo Crews, who is from Nigeria now, is going to challenge Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. I kind of had a feeling that this match was going to expand. I thought this match was going to be more than a one-on-one. I thought this was going to be a multi-man.
Me too.
I didn't expect it to be a one-on-one match at all. Which
especially after Fastlane.
Yeah,
when that kind of the botch.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit disappointed the fact that it is a one-on-one. Although both workers probably do deserve a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, especially for a championship. So, who have we got in this one then, Stee, and why? Why do you have Big E?
Well, I feel like you should go for I feel like you have to go for Apollo just because, like, this whole push hasn't he in this feud. Apart from the tag match he won, he's lost like 4 times in a row now. I think, like he's had at least 3 or 4 shots and he's lost each one. So, because he beat up Big E after the match, he deserves another title shot at WrestleMania. It's a bit weird. Like you said, I thought they were going to turn it into some sort of multi-man. I thought Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were going to be involved in that, actually. Make it like some sort of 5-way or 4-way.
Yeah.
But no, they've gone for the one-on-one. They've been pushing Big E. They've tried to push Apollo, and obviously with the botch. It's a hard one, actually. I'm going to go with a biggest of ease. I'm going to go with Big E, actually. I am going to go with Big E. Just because of the botch, I can't get over the botch, and I don't even know whose fault it is. For some reason, I just want to blame Apollo. I don't even know if it's Apollo's fault, but I'm going to blame Apollo because I like Big E and because he's connected to Woods, and Woods sponsors our channel. So, going to go with Big
E. Luke.
Well, Xavier Woods doesn't sponsor Cheap Shot Entertainment, but there's always I can't get that botch out of my mind from Fastlane. We can mention this quite a lot. The botch pin. Like both these guys, making Apollo Nigerian all of a sudden. I mean, not all of a sudden, but really digging into those roots and doing that. Fully expecting to come down looking like Kamala or something like that at WrestleMania.
It could happen.
One leg.
I think so.
Give him he's already got a spear, hasn't he? So
yeah.
R.I.P. Kamala.
Like Apollo would probably deserve a run at the championship, but I think Big E has carried it quite well in the time that he's had it. So I'm gonna go for Apollo to retain on this one on that basis, because I think he's moving towards bigger and better things, and keeping the championship at this point will keep him relevant.
Okay, cool. So we've got one for Big E and one for Apollo. Ryan?
Yeah, I have FP Kamala. I was just double checking on that one. As I say, but I completely can see that just happening, like you mentioned there, Luke. I've got to go with Apollo on this because, like Steve was saying earlier, it's been so one-sided in the whole.
Yeah.
The whole story is Big E did not want to give Apollo Crews another title shot, and then got one at Fastlane, and then he attacked after the match, so now he's got another title shot. And I feel the Apollo character's kind of dead in the water if he loses this again. I also kind of feel like I've backed the New Day for night one, so I'm not going to go with a New Day clean sweep. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And they've put so much into this Apollo Crews gimmick that
the package was really good. Like the promo package for Fastlane was really good for Apollo Crews.
Yeah. Definitely, and also I mentioned it before, Cesaro, and I feel like SmackDown needs to push some other top faces other than Daniel Bryan. I mentioned Cesaro being one of them, but another one. There was a time when so many people thought Big E was going to potentially win the Royal Rumble. I think I think that him not having the title frees him up for that kind of thing. So I just feel like it's Apollo's time.
Cool. Yeah, I am also going to go with an Apollo Crews victory, mainly down to the fact of bigger and better things, like we've mentioned for Big E. I think that Big E gets moved on from the IC title and into that main event. I think, again, he's probably, like I said in part one, Cesaro is a good candidate to be Money in the Bank holder. But then again, I also believe Big E is probably the second best choice for the briefcase this year for the men. So I kind of see it being a good opportunity to move Big E towards that main event seed by progressing him. He doesn't need that IC title if he's going to be, put into that main event scene. Although, to be fair, based on like the fact of people, as we were heading into the Rumble season, and people were saying, "Oh, Big E is the next best thing to be, going up against Reigns." I would have loved this year to have seen Big E versus Reigns title for title. Like that would have been quite a good thing, like a winner take all, like a big moment for him. But yeah, I think he's going to move on away from Apollo Crews. Apollo's going to be this, sort of like asshole champion, isn't he? He's probably going to do something with the belt to make it sort of like Nigerian.
Classic foreign tactics.
Yeah, we might even get like a white strap. We might even get a white strap on the belt again, which would make it look quite cool. So a Big E win for me on that one as well. So I think we were one on Apollo. Sorry, so we're on one for Big E and three for Apollo. Were we?
Yes, we were.
A 3-for-1. Cool. So let's stick with championships, and we will talk about the Raw Women's Championship. We have Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, or the Empress of the current generation of the women's division, especially on Raw. And she will be challenged by none other than the runner-up in this year's Royal Rumble. She will be challenged by Rhea Ripley. Who do we have in this one then, Luke, and why?
Well, they haven't. I love both of these girls. They're absolutely top of their game. Asuka is fantastic. She lost that spark since moving up to the main brand. She never really gained that back after losing to Charlotte, winning the Royal Rumble. Still, my proudest prediction league moment is predicting that she won that Royal Rumble. But I do feel like it's it's a good time, and we bring this back to Charlotte again. It's a good time for Rhea Ripley to pick up a big championship. The only problem I have with that is that it's very, very soon. And she'd literally just come up and said, "I want a title match." She did come runner-up, and if she'd have won the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't have been, wouldn't have been angry or anything like that. But either one of those ladies could have won that, and I'd have been very, very happy. So this one's a really difficult one for me. I don't think they're doing anything with Asuka at the moment because she's suffered with injuries.
Yeah.
So it might just be time for it to give her a bit of time off, so to speak, and put the title on Rhea. So again, I'm going to push the boat out on this one and say that Rhea Ripley is going to pick up the championship.
Cool. New champion. Ryan taught me through the Raw women's division.
The Raw women's division is badly in need of a shake-up. I feel like a lot of the things that have been played out a lot. I feel like when they do have Asuka as champion, she's just constantly feuding with the tag team champions for no apparent reason, even when she's not in actual title feud with him, which she obviously was at one point recently with Charlotte, but when she isn't, it just keeps going in that direction. I'm picking Rhea just to kind of break up that monotony a little bit, and also she's playing more towards the heel side of things, and she's gonna need more babyface challenges, which will then switch that dynamic back around again. I just want to get out of the habit of just seeing a mix between the singles champion facing the tag champions. I'm hoping that, we could end up getting we could end up seeing a title change of the Raw Tag Team Champions where it goes to the babyface team and we've got a heel champion if Rhea Ripley wins, and then that dynamic could still exist, but I hope it doesn't. I go with Rhea Ripley because it needs a change, but we'll see.
So Rhea for yourself. Steve.
Is Rhea a natural heel though? I just don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like she did come up as a face, but then she started doing some heel things on Twitter, so no one really knows. I think she works better in this case as a baby face for just what kind of happened last year. It would kind of suck if she lost to Charlotte last year and then also lost to Asuka at Mania. I feel like this is a good reset. I was going to mention it before, but I waited until my turn. Technically, Rhea won the Royal Rumble apparently because her Bianca's foot both feet did touch the floor at the same time. Who knows? So WWE would never write that script, but I feel like a good way to insert her into the title match, saying she could have actually won the Royal Rumble and it should have been her anyway. I think that would have been a good setup instead of just, turning up onto Raw and going, "Hey, I'd like a title shot," after a really good match with Peyton Royce, by the way. That was actually a very good match. I actually watched it. That was the only part of Raw I've seen in about a year. So there you go. I just happened to put it on before going to bed. It was a good match, and then she just came out and go, "Hey, I challenge you," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So the feud, it's there, I guess. Again, it kind of writes itself. I'm going to go with Rhea to win just because she lost to Charlotte last year after she challenged Charlotte. So it would kind of suck if she challenges two superstars and loses to both of them. So I think it's her time to shine. And like they said, Asuka might need a bit of a break. She's been carrying the division for like 8 months.
Yeah. She hasn't dropped the title, has she, in this period?
No, I don't think she has. I think she's held it since Money in the Bank, hasn't she?
Yeah.
No, did she drop it to Sasha at one point?
She did.
Yes, she did.
Oh,
yes.
she did. Yeah, she did. Actually.
Yeah.
God, so brief.
Yeah, God, yeah. Yeah, so she dropped
when again she was feuding with the tag champs. Or no, I think she was a tag champ at one point and then lost it.
That classic.
It was the whole...
Too much of this with the Asuka title reign where it's been a mix. I'd say I know she was a tag champ at one point whilst I knew about, I think, but just to keep putting her in too many feuds that aren't actually to do with it.
They just don't know what to do with her. Maybe it's because she can't cut a good promo because of her English skills. I don't know, but yeah, if they're trying to find a feud for her or a promo, they just go, "Hey, here's the tag champions. Go after them for a while." Like I can't remember many big matches she's had really with the Raw Women's Championship, to be honest.
No.
I'm just glad it's not Lacey Evans versus Charlotte for the title.
Yeah,
which
that
is
was very
our original plan.
That's a blessing in disguise, isn't it, of Lacey Evans getting pregnant?
Yep.
Like, definitely. Like, legit
With Ric
pregnant
Flair.
and not like Ric Flair pregnant. Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, thank God.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. To round it off, I think we are going to get a new Raw Women's Champion. I think it's time to shift gears a bit. I think there's a movement going on in the company, especially with different champions, especially in the women's division. I think it is time to make new stars. I think they sort of did it wrong when they didn't crown Shayna Baszler as the Raw Women's Champion against Becky Lynch 2 years ago. Like, Baszler definitely should have captured the title, and that should have been where the movement started. We had a new heel champion, and we went from there. And like, I would have even been up for a case of it being Asuka versus Baszler this year. Like, you know, for a singles match, that would have been great. Like, we never saw it in NXT. Like, the two dominant women who've been great with the. Yeah.
Basically, like, took over when Asuka got caught up because she dropped the title. So again, the story writes itself.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say it is time for a new movement. So I think that Rhea Ripley wins the title into all that redemption for last year. I'm intrigued to obviously. Yeah, I'm intrigued to obviously see why Charlotte isn't actually as part of the card. Obviously, I saw
she was backstage, wasn't she? Like, on the last Raw, and everyone was worried that she was going to come out and challenge.
She's had COVID, hasn't she?
Yeah, but it's also come out that she was fake pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah, so like,
I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Like, my worry is that literally Charlotte gets added to it like the week before WrestleMania.
Yeah, we are predicting this like a week early, so you never know with Charlotte Flair. She might just nope.
Yeah, and it really wouldn't surprise, and it wouldn't surprise me even if like WWE now like tries to do something at the Hall of Fame, like Charlotte's there and Charlotte's like she gets into like a sort of like, you know, like a gimmick sort of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it because, like was being mentioned, it'd be good for Rhea Ripley to get her revenge. So like,
definitely
to avenge it. So if it was Charlotte's being there for her to take the pin from Rhea, it also kind of keeps Asuka strong, and I'd be totally for it. I like the Hall of Fame idea. It could establish Rhea more as a heel if Rhea actually kind of started on Charlotte, and then
was Rhea a heel in NXT UK? You know, when she won the women's title
originally, NXT UK, and then she turned up in NXT to confront Baszler, and that's when she was face.
That's when she was the face, wasn't she? Like she was the heel. She was the heel against Toni Storm, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
So like she has got experience as the heel. So yeah, I thought she had. I thought she'd definitely done something as a heel. And NXT UK was the one that was ringing the bells. But yeah, I kind of see her being the new champion. Freshen it up a bit on Raw for the women's title. Definitely. But yeah, I think that's that. I think that we've covered that one, haven't we?
Yes, covered it very well.
Awesome.
Great
It was a great discussion actually. I think we spent more time on that one than we have on like the Fiend of Randy Orton. So we've got 2 matches left to predict. So I'm going to go with again one that probably may steal the show on night 2, and it being Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. A match that probably should have taken place at a WrestleMania many years ago.
Yep.
Based on the whole NXT storyline, like it seems very rushed to me.
Yes.
This is so rushed. Like they could have literally built this months and months ago because
could have been a great feud as well.
I understand. I understand. I understand WWE's point of like you don't have to build this because the feud has been a feud since NXT, since basically since Owens walked through the door, like in NXT, and the sort of the feud writes itself, like based on the history, and that's probably what WWE are going with, in the fact of it being we don't need to build it. We're just going to put them both on the card because we know that they can perform against each other. I would probably put my life savings. In fact, I'd probably put my whole house on the fact that at one point in the match we are going to see the trademark punch that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to do. Yeah, that will be guaranteed to happen. I probably wouldn't get great odds on it, but I would have a great return with the big stake. So it's a great match that again could steal Night 2, if they're allowed to do what they want to do. If there's no full-on control over this match from obviously the agent who's going to be booking the match, if they get a good agent who books this match with them, then definitely this could steal Night 2. And on that sort of point, again, I kind of want to go out on a limb here and say Sami Zayn. Like for the whole of the injustice of like everything, and we know at the minute as well. Isn't Logan Paul? Is his name Logan Paul? Like, isn't he supposed to be getting involved in this? So Logan Paul then is going to be getting involved in this one. Then I assume he'll probably be the special guest referee. Like,
it could go that way. Do you think KSI might get involved?
Oh God, could you imagine? Literally,
I would be for it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I've seen someone on Twitter mention it. That's why that's not my mindset. I copied it from someone I saw on Twitter mention it, saying I'm fine with the Logan Paul stuff as long as KSI gets involved. And I'm there for that.
Yeah, it'd be quite funky.
It's an interesting twist.
Yeah, I sort of see. That's the thing. I sort of see Logan Paul being the special guest referee in this, and that's why I've sort of swing towards Kevin Owens losing to Sami Zayn.
It could happen.
If it was a special guest referee and Logan Paul sort of lets the rules sort of go, like disqualifications and stuff.
Yep.
That's where we could maybe see the Owens sort of moment in the crowd.
He's 100%. He's 100% jumping off the ship.
I think whether WWE like it or not, he's
jumping off. Yeah, even if he gets to know he's doing it.
Yeah, even if it means he's off TV for the rest of the year, he will probably do it.
Yeah, it's his moment. It's what he wants to do. Like if you watch,
he wants to do it last year. He wanted to do it last year.
Was it just the WrestleMania documentary? When he was talking about it, and then he ended up jumping off the logo and stuff. He was gutted when he couldn't jump off that ship. He is 100% jumping off it.
Yeah.
So on that note, based on the fact that he will probably jump off, I am going for Mr. Zayn. Mr. Zayn for me.
Interesting.
Anybody else want to take it?
Whilst the internet's good,
right. You go.
So I think Owens, because if this Logan Paul involvement goes all the way to WrestleMania, it's not often that WWE have the celebrity play the heel. Currently, so far on Twitter, he seems to be kind of siding with Zayn. He's saying like, "Oh, you might actually be on something," but I feel like it's just going to be this big ruse where somebody like Sammy thinks he's his friend, and either will kind of play out on a SmackDown before that. It seems like the deck is going to be stacked against Owens, or it'll be then that Logan Paul was like, actually, I think you're crazy. Well, I'll referee the match. But either way, I can see Owens winning because of the celebrity involvement, unfortunately. It'd be a great, great match. But I also kind of think as well that, it could go either way in the sense that I feel like this is going to be the ending to that documentary, no matter what. But I can't tell who's going to end with Sammy going absolutely crazy happy that he's won and he's finally beaten this conspiracy against him, or it's going to be a huge tantrum. I'm thinking it's the latter. I think it's going to be a tantrum. So I'm going with Owens based off that. But I've loved Sami Zayn's conspiracy documentary.
I could see what you... Yeah. I could see what you mean in terms of Logan Paul thing, siding with Sammy, and then in the whole like Mike Tyson thing with DX and Austin, like that thing where Tyson obviously knocked out Michaels, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he was supposed to be with DX, and then rips the shinies. Yeah. So yeah, got connotations of that.
First of all, I didn't know Logan Paul was in this match, or even involved, or even at WWE. I thought
it's only on SmackDown at the moment.
Yeah, and thank goodness for it. But it does give me hope that as a YouTuber, that I might be invited to WrestleMania one day and be appearing. So, well, not even based on that. First of all, I love these two. I love the feud. Every time that these two are together, whether they are friends or enemies or whatever, I always go back to that point where Owens turned on Sami Zayn back in NXT and gave him the powerbomb on the apron. Yeah. Brilliant. Such a good feud. Even down to the very limited stuff that they did at Elimination Chamber, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. He's offering the hand, and then just Kevin Owens slams him into the pod. I thought that was great. Love Sami Zayn's new sort of Che Guevara sort of gimmick, conspiracy theory. I think is great. Kevin Owens is brilliant, but obviously he was never ever going to win, really. Although he should have done against Roman Reigns.
Yep. Yeah, based on the glitch.
For the glitch. Yeah, it's a really difficult one. Kevin Owens is jumping off that ship. If he lands it, he's going to win, or whatever move he's going to do. If he misses, big chance he's going to lose. But I think that Kevin Owens has more to gain out of this one. So I'm going to go Kevin Owens.
Probably highly likely then that it's going to be like a false count anywhere match or something.
Yeah, or it could be like a Triple H Undertaker from WrestleMania 17 where the referee's down for like 30 minutes after being hit. Yeah, still one of the greatest ref bumps ever. Yeah. Then they find out the crowd, come back and the referee clear away again. Yeah. But yeah, it's probably going to turn into something like that, or whoever's refereeing is going to give them a lot of leeway, so they can go and do that spot. But I'm going to go with Kevin Owens on this one. Out of the two, prefer Kevin Owens, but I do love Sami Zayn and his new gimmick. But I'm going to go with Kevin Owens.
So 2 for Owens and 1 for Sami. Steve, are you joining me on the Sami Zayn train?
Yes, I'm going to go for Sami Zayn because Logan Paul's character is an asshole. So I think in the end, it's going to turn with Logan just like turning on Kevin Owens towards he's going to side with Kevin Owens for a little bit, and then he's going to be the one who pushes Kevin Owens off the ship, or some sort of bump like that. Or the other way around, Kevin Owens performs the move, and then both of them are a bit dead, and then he ends up hitting Kevin Owens, and that's what gets Sami Zayn the win. I think Sami deserves the win. In this feud, you always think of Kevin Owens winning. Again, it might be a bit predicting with heart than head, but I just feel like Sami Zayn should get the win anyway. And I think with the fact that they've added him to maybe it'll be special referee, I don't know, to see where they go with it. But I just think Sami Zayn will get the victory. I think he's had he's built the feud. I mean, the feud, like we said, the feud's only lasted a couple of weeks, but obviously it's years in the making. And it's finally at WrestleMania. It'll be a great match. I think it will steal the show as we save up some other matches. It'll be very good. And what I was going to say is, though, I do think this was supposed to be part of the Intercontinental title picture. I do think it was supposed to be a multi-man match, and now they've scrapped it, and now they've gone, they don't have a match. So they've kind of thrown it together, and they've got Logan Paul involved, which I'm kind of fine with, as long as it works out well for the feud. So I'm going to go with Sami Zayn on this one.
Excellent. So, 2 for Zayn, 2 for Owens.
If Sami does win, that means he's got victories over Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens in back-to-back WrestleManias. That's quite some going, really.
Going for
Definitely. Yeah, I think Owens also had his moment last year, didn't he, against Rollins?
Yep.
Yeah.
quite a split field. And I think, to be fair, that's probably what I'm expecting across the field as well. Quite a split.
Yeah, it's definitely
quite a split opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah, always. Yeah, it could go either way. It's not like a guaranteed. And I think, to be fair, I think there might be some split opinions in the main event, which will probably be the main event of night 2. We see in our last match that we're going to predict on for this pay-per-view, we see the reigning, defending Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, will defend the Universal Championship against the Royal Rumble winner in Edge, who was announced, funnily enough, as number 2, but came out as number 1. And he will also defend the championship against a very interesting character in Daniel Bryan, because I'm intrigued in what they're doing with him, because he's very. I can't understand the character of Bryan right now.
Yeah, it's a weird one, and the way he's booked into the match is supposed to be a heel, but he's still a babyface. So, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, like Edge's. I can understand Edge because he's pissed off at Bryan, like getting into the match, because this is Edge's moment. This is like the promo that Edge had with Bryan on SmackDown last week was great. Like that Edge was saying that it will be 10 years to the day, which he retired, which would be fantastic. And the fact that Bryan's now stealing his moment, and he's sort of like saying that he wants the world title, and just like, well, this could be like any match right now could be my last match ever, and he wants obviously the championship. It's going to be one that's got a split opinion on it, and I don't want to predict first on this one, please.
Oi!
I will if you want.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident. So firstly, I do understand the Bryan character. It's similar to, in a way, to what's happening with his WrestleMania 30 run onto that, where it hasn't really had a fair, proper shot. It started with Elimination Chamber, after having to go through that match at Fastlane, he was screwed over. But combined with the fact that he's obviously like a bit older, it may be his last shot, he's even more determined now just to not let that kind of thing slide and say, hey, this hasn't been fair, I still haven't had that shot. Edge, you can also understand the heel turn and such, getting sense with like Bryan getting involved in what should have been his moment. And Roman Reigns' character being clear as day, I've loved the dynamic like throughout this feud, and glad they went with a triple threat. And I'm going with Roman Reigns. Edge, with his kind of schedule, I don't know if, I know he's been involved very much in the build-up, but I don't know if he's kind of in the position to be champion, and with him being a heel as well, I don't know if they're going from heel Reigns to heel Edge as a WrestleMania moment from one heel to another. It just doesn't feel right. As for Bryan, I just can't see lightning striking twice as it would have done with WrestleMania 30. I feel like he's kind of been put in there because they've almost kind of squandered the whole Edge Plus. I don't see how they've ruined Edge of all people. Edge, but that's to do with you for you. Like, I know Steve, you'll still be rooting for Edge like mad, but I feel like a lot of people, since what's happened since the Royal Rumble, how long it's taken to decide, and just his kind of almost like Logan-like character, like old, grizzled, now like former hero of the past. I feel there's not much to like about it, so I feel they kind of boxed it and had to put Bryan in as kind of a makeshift. I know you'll probably disagree with that, but I feel like because of that, Reigns is the only real option for me. I feel like it has to continue, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bryan takes that pin just to keep Edge strong. So, yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Steve, would you like to counter?
Yes. You're forgetting fans are going to be in the stadium. So, Edge is a heel right now. Edge will win. He'll probably pin Daniel Bryan, and the fans are going to love it at the end. So, I think Edge will probably I think he'll win. That's my pick. I've spoiled it at the end of my little rant. But I think going forward, I don't think he'll stay heel very long. there might be a Daniel Bryan Edge match straight after WrestleMania, maybe at the next pay-per-view. I don't know. Just to like prove Edge's worth. Roman Reigns will probably they'll try and book him safe. They might keep him off for a little bit. I think Roman Reigns will win the title back at some point, fairly soonish. I think Edge has been involved on SmackDown quite a lot. I think he's been on every week. I think, going from your point,
pretty much.
I think he has. He's been taking bumps. I think he had a decent match on SmackDown against help me. He did a
Jey Uso.
Jey Uso.
Yeah, that was it. That was
Main event Jey Uso.
Main event Jey Uso. Yeah, he's been wrestling. So in terms of would I be happy? He's like the definition of not what a part-timer is, but he is a part-timer. It's very weird, and I'm all for it. I see a lot of reports saying like WWE are worried that he's looking too old. It's just leave him alone. Leave him alone. Poor Edge. I'm the biggest Edge mark ever. Leave him alone. But yeah, I think he's doing fine. I think Bryan has been inserted into the match just to keep Roman Reigns safe. Yes, you are. That's right. I just spoke over you. Go on. What are you going to say?
But what if Jimmy Uso returns?
Yeah, he might, but he'll probably just get speared anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he might return. I just think Bryan's been added. Again, it's obvious bookings, which is a problem. But I just feel like they've made it a triple threat just to keep Roman Reigns safe and taking the pin. I think it'll be a great match, though. I'm happy with it being a triple threat. I wouldn't mind it if it was a one-on-one as well, but I get the logic behind Bryan being added to the match, which would make it a really good match. I hope it's not crap. It keeps Edge going. Like if he does get a bit tired, then it's a triple threat, so Bryan and Roman Reigns can carry the match if need be. I think Edge has proven that he can carry the match also, though. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. I do think Daniel Bryan will take the pin, though, unfortunately for him in the build-up. And I'm very confused by Ryan's character because, like we said, I know you said you weren't confused by it, but at the same time, he's like a face, but everything he does is a heel. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. But there you go.
Luke, let's go to you. Is this where you say Daniel Bryan will be the new champion?
He'll make good content.
And there's been some very, very good points here with both predictions. But I'm going to go with Stee, and I'm going to say that Edge is going to win. They put too much time and effort into it for it not to happen. However, as we've already alluded to, WWE are great from carpet out from under your feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel the same way. I think Bryan's in there to add an extra element, and that's fine. I think he could have had quite a good one-on-one match with someone like AJ, maybe. But obviously, he's in a different feud, and he's on a different brand. Maybe that would have been the brand one. Do feel like Bryan's there to take the pin, keep Roman Reigns looking strong for picking it up again. But because, much like Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns has carried that championship and carried SmackDown, and he is fabulous character at the moment. That is practically the only reason I'm still interested in keeping up with SmackDown and Raw. I mean, I haven't actually watched a full episode of SmackDown or Raw since probably like early 2000s. That it's been that long.
Wow.
But I do like to keep up on it, and he's been great. Roman Reigns has been fantastic, so I don't think he's going to take the pin.
And to conclude WrestleMania Night 2, we've had a Reigns and we've had 2 for Edge, and I suppose I should go for Daniel Bryan since I'm wearing his T-shirt.
I was going to do that segue.
I suppose I should. Should I?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes. As much as I would like to see Daniel Bryan be the Universal Champion again, I think WWE have obviously had Edge in his promo say it's 10 years to the day since he retired. There would be no reason for WWE to bring it up if he wasn't going to 10 years to the day win that championship. You can hear it now. Michael Cole in everybody's ears going, 10 years to the day, Edge is world champion once again. Like, you can just hear it. And that will be WrestleMania going off the air. Fans leave happy. I kind of disagree with you on the fact that Edge is a heel and Bryan's a heel. I kind of see them both as a tweener. I think they're stuck in between. I think WWE are a little bit unsure as to who they would like as the main heel, like as the challenger and heel, because they have the heel in Reigns, and they don't and the thing is, they don't need another heel going into the match. Like, they don't need two heels and one face. No. Why not have two faces challenging the heel who has been the major heel throughout the year, like, who has beaten off face after face after face after face? Why do they need another heel to challenge him?
Can somebody please, who's watching this, Photoshop Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks, Edge and Bryan on the in-betweeners? And then, like, just underline tweeners. Because it feels like we've got a lot of this going into WrestleMania.
Like, yeah, literally.
You know, it'd be good.
Like, there is a lot of, people that, like, WWE aren't sure as to who's face and who's heel right now going into.
To be fair, though, if they hadn't booked Edge the way they have at the moment, where he's, like, beating up Bryan, he's beating up Roman Reigns and stuff because he's pissed off because he wants the one-on-one. He literally walked into the locker room saying, "Hey, I want a one-on-one." It makes sense because you would be like, if this was real, if wrestling was real, you would be pissed off that this is happening. You won the Royal Rumble, yay! Go to WrestleMania, and then Bryan's like, "Hello, don't forget about me." You would be pissed off, so you would smash someone around the head with a chair. I mean, that's what I would do. Maybe I've got anger issues, but I feel like you would, if we were talking about this now and Edge wasn't doing those things, I think we'd be talking right now and complaining he's not doing those things. So to me, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
go Edge. Woo.
Yeah, I'm on the whole Edge will walk out as champion, and I think maybe at Backlash, which it will probably be before Money in the Bank. I assume it would be Backlash.
No, I don't know.
Edge will probably say to Reigns, "Look, let's have the one-on-one match. You know, let's have that rematch."
Back to then he's the big face again. He's had the chairs at Mania.
Then he's the big face versus Reigns. And to be fair, like, I think you was the one who said it, Steve, that Reigns will win the title back pretty quickly.
I think he will get the title back.
And that's probably where he'll win it. That's probably where he'll win it back. I think almost immediately he'll win it back in his first attempt. Because, like we say, of Edge's longevity, I don't think he'll be here for the long term. Although it depends how WWE try and counterbalance him being on WWE TV while Christian is going to be on AEW TV. What do they do with that?
True.
Yeah. So that's that.
Indeed.
So we unfortunately, as much as I would have liked to have said yes to Daniel Bryan to being the one that overcomes Edge and Reigns as those two being heels, and he's there at the end celebrating with Conor Mahalik, giving it the whole yes. He's not going to be doing it. He will be the one that takes the fall. Heyman will be Heyman, and there will be probably a meme face that comes out of WrestleMania of Paul Heyman's face.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, Edge will be the new world heavyweight champion, the Universal champion.
I wish.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking now, how many times has WWE gone against what the fans want by having a Roman Reigns win?
Yep.
Yeah.
Saying that, actually, to be fair, they did the opposite with Brock Lesnar when they kept it on Brock Lesnar, even though people weren't too fussed about Reigns, or kind of getting sick of seeing it. So I suppose you can say the opposite. But...
Yeah.
You never know.
I think it needs to. WrestleMania will start with something big and end with something big. It always will. If you cast your mind back to the last WrestleMania, which had fans, Seth Rollins walked away as Universal Champion. He beat Lesnar, didn't he, in the opener?
Yep.
And the last one in front of the fans. And Becky Lynch walked out as the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. beating obviously both champions. So something big to begin, something big to end. And that's
Like the return
how I
of Jimmy
see
Uso.
it. I mean, you don't get much.
I
bigger
really
than
see
that.
it. I can really see the full bloodline.
You definitely
Well,
don't
we'll
get
see.
anything. You don't get much bigger than Jimmy Uso.
There you go. Heard it from Ryan.
Main event Jimmy Uso, WrestleMania main event Jimmy Uso.
Yeah. At some point, it will be bigger than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Uso versus Uso. So, that concludes night 2. Thank you.
I feel like we've
for
actually
sticking with
watched the pay-per-view. I know,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Thank you for sticking with
Was it about 3 hours?
Yeah, we're just on 10 past 11, and we started at 8. Obviously, we did have a few technical issues, and we had a little break. But
Yeah, it took me half an hour to set it up as well.
we did get through it. We got through it, so well done. So that concludes night 2. Thank you, Luke and Ryan, for joining myself and Stee on Square Circle Jobbers for the brand new series of the Prediction League. Hopefully, it does go well down with you guys, the viewers on the channel. And if you agree with our booking, let us know. Let us know who you think are going to walk out of WrestleMania victorious in the comment section down below. Because, like I mentioned, you may be one day as part of this league fighting for this wonderful heavyweight championship of the world. Right now, though, I'm just going to keep it right here and keep my baby close to my chest.
Is there a way I can hide Ben's video?
You legend. Oh, there we go.
It's technical worst time. Just for having
was it?
being champion.
We thought you just left, and I was like as a storming out thing, and I was like, we can't finish the video if you've gone.
His audio's gone.
He's laughing silently. That's all that counts. See that?
No, his audio's gone. Big time.
No, his audio's gone. We'll just get away. We'll just get away from you, Ryan. It's fine. We're going to sign out.
Don't worry. We can't hear you, honestly.
Let's dub him.
Shoulder. Ryan is saying that the championship.
He's going to be the champion. I'll just Photoshop a big dick on it. It's fine.
That's inflatable filth, is what it is.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I can't say right, seriously. Don't forget to watch part 1 as well if you've missed this one. Let us know if you got to the end of these videos. I'm going to take a page out of a YouTube I watch with Football Manager. Tell us what your favourite sandwich is, and it tells us that you got to the end of the video. Let us know. I like a good prawn sandwich. That's what I prefer. We're not going to go into it what everyone else prefers. I'm just saying mine. Let us know in the comments. You're plant-based. Thank you so much for watching, and all the links in the description for everyone's content. And we'll see you maybe next month if you like this content, and we'll do another one, and we'll show you the table after WrestleMania. A wave, I guess.
Obligatory wave, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.